All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really nervous right now just because, so looking back at past lives, I've pretty much always had M right here beside me. And so I've always talked to her and kind of bounced ideas off of her. Like the time when we did the Bean Boozled challenge, that was her idea. And I hated it. It was the worst thing ever. I never want to do it again. But it was her idea. And I appreciated the idea. And so, I don't know, it's just weird not having her. And even, I think there's only one stream that she wasn't right here with me. And she was actually in the next room over watching the stream and commenting. And so, I don't know, this is weird. This is literally the first stream I've done without her, period, because she's out having fun with friends and whatnot, and I decided to stay back and chill out of the house. So, right now, I'm hoping to just, chat with y'all. Hi, how are you? Yeah, no. I don't really have anything in mind that I wanted to say, but literally, okay, so, I've just been, hey, how is everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I feel like I'm unintentionally flashing people with this shirt. Whoops. Oh, what time is it where you are? I am glad you are doing good. I am also doing better than I was 10 minutes ago, so that's a good thing. I've been going through med changes recently, and so my mental health is kind of wonky, and I'm just waiting for the meds to come in, and so I've been kind of off. And then I got this one shitty comment from someone whose profile picture was literally guns and American flag, and it was basically just an over-enthusiastic endorsement of the gender binary, and I'm like, we don't need that here. Not here. Not today. 9 of the night. Okay, so it's a little bit late, yeah. It always trips me out, just having friends in different time zones and constantly doing the math to find out what time it is here versus what time it is there. It's really trippy. Because here where I am, it's 2:05, so 2 in the afternoon. And so in my mind, the Chanel 1 topic, I do not know the Chanel 1 topic. But yeah, where I am, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But on the West Coast, it's what, 11, 10, and then folks in Hawaii are just waking up. So yeah. But yeah, now what is the Chanel 1 topic? I've never heard of that. It sounds familiar, but I don't know why it's familiar. YouTube channel. I have not heard of that YouTube channel. What sorts of things do they do? Oh, do I know the YouTube channel? Do I know the YouTube channel? No. I pretty quickly removed the comment because there was no I always try to talk to people if I think they're operating in good faith, and if I think that they actually have an interest in learning or anything like that. But if it's clear to me that you're not actually wanting to learn or have a productive dialogue, and you just want to be mean and harass people and whatnot, I'm not gonna put up with that. So yeah, no, I don't know the YouTube channel, but it's no big deal. I hope I'm actually answering your question and not talking about something completely unrelated, because it would be like me to do that. Oh, Chanel One Topic is a YouTube channel, right? No? Am I completely off base? Did I just ramble about like comments and channel policy for nothing? So, really, sports LGBTQIA people. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I like that because like I feel like there's this misconception that like there's a disconnect between um the LGBT community and sports. Like there's this misconception that queer folks don't enjoy sports, but like I love sports. Like I don't really necessarily love playing sports because I have the coordination of a baby penguin, but I enjoy watching sports. I particularly enjoy watching football, American football. I also enjoy watching volleyball. I enjoy watching gymnastics. I enjoy watching fencing. I enjoy watching figure skating. I enjoy watching tennis. I've gotten kind of out of watching basketball. I'm not really a huge basketball fan. Hey, um, but yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of LGBT folks don't like sports, and so it's not like it's an unfair um stereotype. But like, I like sports. Like, I think they're neat. I'm also just a really, really competitive human being by nature. How I look as a penguin? I don't know, but like for we have a fronting indicator system to indicate who's fronting when we're texting someone, and my indicator is the penguin emoji. So yeah, I like going on YouTube and. Huh. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, for the most part, I'm the one who spends most of my time on YouTube as far as like other folks in the system, and so our YouTube recommendations look a lot like what I'm interested in, but I can imagine that if other ultras in the system were more active here on YouTube, they'd probably get a lot of we probably get a lot of diverse interests. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so Beltane is a pagan holiday. Specifically, it's a holiday celebrated. It's primarily celebrated by Wiccans, Druids, and also pagans who who celebrate the Wheel of the Year. But the eight Sabbats is what they're called, and they represent the turning of the wheel of the year, so the turning of the cycle. So 4 of the holidays that we celebrate are actually the first day of every season. So the first day of spring, summer, fall. Wow, autumn and winter. And then there are also holidays between each of those, which have their own spiritual significance as well. And Beltane is typically so Beltane is celebrated either on the 30th of April or on the 1st of May. I know that a lot of pagans were actually celebrating yesterday, but I kind of like missed the memo. So I'm going to be celebrating today. I'm not actually sure yet what I'm going to be doing because I am not the most prepared pagan when it comes to ritual. Not always. Sometimes, like, literally, like, I'll be like, oh, like, 30 days beforehand, I'll be like, I want to do a ritual on this, and I'll set it up, and I'll make a plan, and it'll be great, you know? But, like, this time, like, I literally realized yesterday that yesterday/today were Beltane, and so I don't necessarily have a plan of action, but it's been a while since I did a proper ritual, so I think that would be really nice. Also, when my fiance comes home, I think we're going to do hair and makeup, so I might see if we can turn that into a formal Beltane celebration. I don't want to just take something and turn it into a Beltane celebration, but like if it lends itself to that, to where we can, honor the turning of the seasons while we're, dollifying ourselves or what have you, then that would be fun. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to her about it. But yeah. Omnis. What's omnism? I have a feeling based on the root word, but I'm not sure what an omnist is. Also, hello to your cat. But yeah, I've been pagan since Mabon of 2015, so I'm going on 6 years. I still consider myself somewhat of a baby witch just because most of my path is me trying to figure things out and just, navigating the world around me and making things up as I go along. But yeah. I hope that answers your question, but if you have further questions about Beltane, feel free to ask. I will do my best to... Yeah. But yeah, further... It's the belief that no religion is truth, but truth is... Oh, okay. That makes sense. I kind of have a similar belief in that, like, I'm a very eclectic witch, and so my own path really, it's influenced by other paths that I've researched in my journey to discover paganism. And so, I remember when I was, I think this may have actually been before I officially made the shift to paganism, but I was talking to one of my friend's boyfriends, and one of my friend's boyfriend, I think that's supposed to be. Anyway, grammar aside, I basically talked about how, like, my belief system, at the time at least, was basically that God, the universe, the divine, whatever you want to call it, decided that they were going to put some truth in all of the world's religions, and that the goal would be that it's only upon all of us working together that we would be able to arrive at the complete truth. So, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that belief now. I haven't really reflected on it recently, but it's something that I'd be interested in exploring more. Thank you. I hope I am. And tomorrow I have work. Have a great week. And hi to your cat. Thank you. So it's not the start of the summer. It's pretty much halfway between spring and summer. It's also known as May Day. And it's basically it's a celebration of spring being in full force and fertility and often sexuality and things of that nature. Yeah. I've actually never been to a formal Beltane celebration, so I can only speak so much about it. I can only speak to what I've, like, briefly read about it, but that might be what I do whenever I hop off here, or even on here, just, like, talking about... I can look it up and just read and talk about Beltane. That'd be nice. Can you be used non-binary and use binary? Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I use she, her pronouns. So yeah, that's totally within the realm of possibility. Technically speaking, when you think about it, like, pronouns are just words that we use to describe ourselves in shorthand, and they don't have their own gender. They're just the words that we most like to be associated with us. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to look up more information on Beltane. Because I have a general idea, of what it is, but I can always stand to learn more. Here we go. This is a site that I use often in my learning. So here we go. So I'm reading from the Learn Religions website. And the article is by Patty Wigington. Wigington? I don't know how to pronounce the last name. So here we go. April showers have given way to fertile and rich earth, and as the land greens, there are few celebrations as representative of fertility as Beltane, observed on May 1st or October 31st, November 1st for our Southern Hemisphere readers. Festivities typically begin the evening before on the last night of April. It's a time to welcome the abundance of the fertile earth on a day that has a long and sometimes scandalous history. There are many different ways you can celebrate Beltane, but the focus is nearly always on fertility. It's the time when the Earth Mother opens up to the fertility god, and their union brings about healthy livestock, strong crops, and new life all around. So yeah, that's a quick little explanation. I'm glad that my explanation was actually pretty much on point. That's exciting. It shows that I'm learning. I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome. And also happy to help. Yeah, no, when I was first trying to figure out whether or not I was trans or non-binary, trans and non-binary YouTubers were so helpful to me, and so I really wanted to pay it forward. And so I'm really happy to hear that I'm successfully doing that. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, Easter, the word, it derived from a goddess who's associated with Ostara. And the basic premise of Ostara is that it's the first day of spring, and so new life is springing forward, after a period of time, marked by barrenness and what some might consider to be death. New life comes afterwards. And so it kind of makes sense that Easter ties into that, because when you think about it, new life coming out of the grave because Jesus was resurrected from the dead, if you believe that. So it kind of makes sense how it's a holiday that would be celebrated with the same general terminology and things of that nature. But when you know that Easter actually originated as a pagan holiday, it makes a lot more sense when certain Easter traditions just make when you think about the biblical story of Easter, there's nothing there about rabbits. There's nothing there about eggs. It's kind of what is this? How is this connected? And most people just go throughout their lives not questioning it. But, when you actually know the origins and you know that they're symbols of fertility from the pagan festival of Ostara, it's oh, that makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, same with later on, if you're within definitely a liturgical tradition, a lot of I know Catholics celebrate it and Lutherans celebrate it, and I know some others do as well. But celebrating All Saints' Day, which is on November 1st, which is the day after what we typically know as Halloween, but what pagans know as Samhain. And so on Samhain, it's said that the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead is at its thinnest. And so a lot of the celebrations for Samhain revolve around communicating with ancestors and things of that nature. And then within Christianity, the very next day, they're talking about, all of the dead people who have gone and passed on and remembering them and honoring their memory. And it's I wonder where you got that idea from. Which is not to, in any way say anything negative about the Christian holidays and Christian celebrations, but I appreciate it when other people acknowledge where things come from. Because, at the end of the day, there aren't really any original ideas, but I think it's best if you're able to be like, yeah, no, I got this idea from here, as opposed to, yeah, no, this is just what we do. We've always done it this way. It came from above, it came from beyond, or what have you. Yeah. Where is... There we go. Boom. But, yeah, no. Just, like, even, like, with, like, fiction and things of that nature, like, I am a writer, and as I'm writing, I often run into these, obstacles where I'm like, is this character too similar to another character? And I'm like, at the end of the day, I have to realize that as long as I acknowledge the fact that I'm inspired by these things, and I don't, like, copy them, like, I saw this one thing which talked about how the basic premise of Harry Potter and Star Wars are actually really, really similar. Like, you have a kid whose parents are killed by the big villain, and they go to live with their aunt and uncle, and then someone tells them that they have powers and that they're destined to defeat the big baddie at the end. And it's like, there's some similarity there. And, like, I created this one character. Like, literally, it wasn't really inspired by anyone or anything, but the character's ability is that they can manipulate fire and ice. And I thought it was, like, super original, super fun, super chill, pun intended. And then I started watching My Hero Academia, and I'm like, oh, it's been done before. Thanks, Todoroki. But at the end of the day, the characters are completely different, and they have completely different character arcs and completely different stories, and I'm now extra careful to make sure that they aren't similar characters, but also at the same time, like, it probably shouldn't be that much of a surprise that someone else did a fire and ice character, since the phrase fire and ice is a common saying anyway. I don't know. But I thought it was definitely interesting. It was definitely, like, a moment of, like, I guess insecurity, because you always like to think that your ideas have never been said before, or done before, or thought of before. But, like, it's also a moment. It's a lesson in humility to realize that you stand on the shoulders of giants, and that other people have come before you and have done similar things, but you have to stand on your own 2 feet and say, well, this is how mine is different. Ooh, nice. Nice. I like the idea of being a musician, and then I realized that my stage fright is awful. Like, it's so bad. Like, literally, my voice starts shaking. Like, you can hear it in my voice. My voice is literally shaking like a leaf. I am shaking like a leaf. Like, oh, it's so bad. But, I don't really write too many songs anymore, necessarily. I wrote one a couple months ago about my experiences with racism, and I don't think I've read that one in a public forum yet. I'm kind of scared to, just because a lot of my songs that I write, I feel like I use so many obscure references to my life that, like, they don't really make sense unless you sit down and explain what you meant by every word that you just said. And, like, I don't know. Like, okay, so one song that I did read on a live, the third verse says, I went from winning on the mezzanine to choking on cariprazine. Now even breathing feels like broken ankles on the trampoline. And there's definitely, I think that even if you don't understand the full context of it, there's an impact that little couplet has. But, like, the meaning behind it is like, okay, so when I was in 5th grade, I won a spelling bee, and the winning word was mezzanine. And um, at the time, I was just really just like a happy-go-lucky kid. And then the next thing you know, I'm here in the present day, and the phrase is choking on cariprazine. And it was this antipsychotic medication I was on that really messed with me. It messed with my mental health. It made me super trigger. It made me like super depressed, super everything. It was just really, really bad. Um, and on top of it, it also made my tongue swell, so I was literally like choking on my own tongue. And so that phrase, I went from winning on the mezzanine to choking on cariprazine, is like indicative of like I went from this happy-go-lucky kid to someone who's really sad and depressed and anxious and whatnot. And so, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of my songs, like unless I explain them and say like this is what they mean, they kind of fall flat. But that's not like a testament to like them being bad, just a testament to them being like really obscure. I don't know. Hello, dude. So it depends on the pagan. So typically speaking, like for a while, what I would do is anytime I wanted to perform a ritual, I would ask each individual deity if they would be willing to be present in the ritual, and I would wait to hear a response from them. And if they said yes, then great. If they said no, I'd move on and try to find someone else who I thought would be like relevant or helpful for the work that I was doing in that moment. And eventually I realized that it was really kind of like a shallow surface level relationship with them. And so I decided, I'm like, hey, why don't I try to figure out if there are any deities who specifically like want to work with me, who would choose to work with me, as opposed to me like asking situationally like, hey, you seem like the right person for the job, would you help me out, and so there was a lot of meditation and a lot of ritual and a lot of reflection. And so over time, the identities of 3 Greek deities came to me, and those are the Greek deities who I've been working with since. But honestly, like, it kind of shifts over time, like from moment to moment. Like, I don't know. It's not. There are a lot of deities out there, and I don't even begin to claim to know all of them, not by a long shot. But like, I've been fortunate enough in that it seems that certain deities do want to work with me. So yeah, and that wasn't a rude question at all. I haven't heard of Tess Stevens. But you're right, there aren't very many LGBT pop punk emo bands. Um, I don't know if Brendan Urie falls under that genre. I know he's pansexual. Um, but he's literally the only one I can think of. Okay, cool. A friend of mine actually went to a concert that was Hayley Kiyoko and Panic at the Disco, and she talks about how there were like so many pride flags everywhere, and it sounds absolutely magical. But yeah, like I was saying, I totally support you in your endeavors to become a LGBTQ pop punk emo singer. Make sure you keep us all in the loop so we can support you. And if I ever decide that I want to actually perform the songs I write, I'll definitely connect it to this channel right here. This channel has become, home base for pretty much everything that I do, and so I definitely, yeah. I am suddenly getting tired, so I'll probably only stay on for a few minutes longer and then call it happens at most. Okay, gotcha. I've never been to a Panic concert. I don't think I've ever been to a non-Christian concert, interestingly enough, which I really want to change that. Because, I don't know. When it comes to concerts, I always feel insecure if I don't know all the words to the songs. And typically speaking, I don't listen to the entire discographies of different bands or singers or whatnot. I'll literally listen to the songs I like and that's it. So I have no doubt that I'm missing out on a ton of songs that I would probably love, and I've just never heard because I've never come across them. But yeah, I know that a lot of concerts, you have all the people singing along in unison, and it's super magical. And I just don't want to be the one person who's standing there not singing along because I don't know the words, or heaven forbid, I don't want to sing the wrong words. I've had that experience a couple times, and actually no, I've pretty much only had it once, but it wasn't even at a concert. I was in a choir, right? And I was standing on stage, and the people were there, and the director starts play. This director starts no, the pianist starts playing the song, and the director starts conducting, and I'm like, oh crap! I never really sat down to learn all the words to this song, and so there is this one point where I'm like, I don't know, I don't know this part. I don't know this part. And logically speaking, the thing to do in that moment is to mouth the words so that you don't draw attention to yourself. But no, I not only sang the wrong word, but I got louder to compensate for the fact that I didn't know what I was singing. And so the word, and to make matters worse, it was a made up word. I literally made up the word. And so the word that I was supposed to remember was hesitating. And so I said loudly, with all the confidence I could muster, that I was expectating. And literally, I could feel so many eyes just turn and look at me did you really just say that? Did you really just say that? And it was awful. I've never. Okay, that makes sense. Huh. I haven't been really listening to any of the members of One Direction's stuff apart from Harry Styles. I do like Harry Styles though. He seems really, really neat. He also seems like a nice person, and I like supporting people who have reputations for being nice people, because I don't know. Niall Horan too, yeah. I know his song New Angel, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's new-ish, but knowing my luck, new-ish probably means that it's 2 or 3 years old, so. But yeah, there's one alter in our system who really likes that song, so it is on our playlist, our like songs playlist, which is the main playlist that we listen to. But yeah. I really regret the fact that I ended up not going to the Evanescence Lindsey Sterling concert because they were like 45 minutes away from where I lived at the time. And so I really wished that I'd been able to go. But there was just a lot of confusion with what we were planning to do that summer. And so I didn't want to make any plans before we knew what was going on, so I just ended up not making any plan. And I heard that the concert was really, really good. So I regret that. It was also like, I think the tickets started at $40, which like isn't cheap, but it's also not super expensive compared to some other artists. So, are anyone else students in the chat? Because I am quickly approaching finals week, and I am not emotionally prepared for the trauma known as finals week. Fortunately, one of my classes, I've already completed like the big hard assignment. Actually, a few of my classes I've already completed the big hard assignments, so those are a little bit more chill. But like I literally just got done with a 10-page paper on Thursday, and now I'm in the preparation for another 10-page paper, and I also have to think about this 7-page paper, and just a lot of writing. And it's writing that, like, I don't want to do. Because, like, I don't know. Half the time I wish that I could just, like, submit a spoken word poem instead of an essay. I know that some of my classmates from a couple of assignments last semester, I was in the class with them, and they literally did exactly that. They're like, I'm not writing an essay, here's a spoken word poem. And they pulled it off somehow, and I'm like, damn, that's really impressive. Tess Stevens is a pop. Ooh. Concept albums are so neat to me. I don't know. She's on TikTok. I wonder if I follow her. Probably not, because I'm not familiar. Let's turn the volume down so I don't get copyrighted. Nope, I follow Tessa Violet, but I don't follow Tess Stevens. Tessa Violet's neat, though. I'm really quite fond of her song Crush. And also, she's just a really like, I'd never heard of her, but I'm a huge fan of John and Hank Green, and she did a video with Hank Green, and she just seemed really like funny and likable, and so I went and watched the video. And the first time I heard it, I'm like, it's okay, no big deal, whatever. And then I listened to it again, I'm like, okay, no, it's not bad, not my thing, but it's not bad. And now every time it comes on, I'm just like, this is my impersonation of dancing. Can you tell? I have no pride. The plan was actually to dance and sing in that moment, and then my nerves said, no, that's not happening. You're not doing that. Tess Stevens' song that she has is about here MT. I don't know what that is. Her mental health and her being in the 5150 she had to go through. I feel like I should type in 5150 to find out what that means. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not from California either. I'm here in North Carolina on the opposite side of the world. Yeah, I voluntarily went to a mental hospital back in February, and that was traumatic enough. And so I honestly can't imagine what it's like when the state puts you there and you're not allowed to, like technically speaking, when I checked myself in, they informed me that I could check myself out, but that they were allowed to keep me for an additional 72 hours. And so you can technically check yourself out, but like not really, which was frustrating. But like, if you were admitted involuntarily, you don't have that choice. And like, I don't know, that really sticks with that. Yeah, it sounds dramatic as hell. But yeah, no, I'm gonna have to look into her, because honestly, I think that we need more songs about mental health. Especially, I think we need more songs about the mental health conditions that are more stigmatized. Like, hi. Like, I feel like a lot of, like, we talk about depression, we talk about anxiety, but we don't really talk about, dissociative disorders. We don't really talk about psychotic disorders. We don't really talk about personality disorders. Like, the scary mental illnesses just kind of get shoved under the rug and not talked about. And so I definitely think we need more songs on those, because I think that music has a way of communicating things that words alone just can't. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I wrote this, so I've been writing a lot more mental health poems, but they're not songs. And at some point in time, I'm going to have another another poetry reading with some of the newer stuff I've been writing. I know a couple lives ago I read a few of the new poems, but not a lot of them, just because I basically read the ones that I actually felt comfortable sharing. But a lot of them are like about my own like trauma, and I like kind of go into detail, and like I know at some point in time I need to share them because they're good poems, but oh my god, I am not like mentally or emotionally ready to have those out in the open where anyone can access them. Ooh, take those ideas and turn them into something. That'd be really neat. But yeah, in the past couple of months, I've only written 2 songs, and one of them is about, one of them's mostly about psychosis along with general depression, and then the other one is about racism. So, not about mental illness at all, just about societal illness. Oh, cool. This is the same live stream. We end up talking about a lot of different things on live streams usually. But thank you so much. Is your name Clotilda? I'm always hesitant to say names during live streams because I don't want to mispronounce them. Yay! Okay. Yeah, no, I do too. I know, I think the name of the group is either Left at London or Left of London, but I know that they write songs about their multiplicity. So they do exist, but there aren't very many. And then the poem that I've been talking about, the mental health poem that I've been talking about, it's not about DID-OSCD, but there is a verse that was written by one of my alters. Her name is Natalie. And so I think I personally think that's kind of neat because it was a collaboration. And like there's this one line that now that I read it, I worry that people are going to think it's about DID or OSCD, and it's 100% not. It's about psychosis. But like it's the song starts off marionette me around like a rag doll, performing single day until my curtain falls. Yes, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. How are you? God, if you only knew the twisted things the voices made me do. And like, it's about psychosis. It is not about it's not about a dissociative disorder at all. But there's such a stigma, and like people get like psychosis and like DID, OCD confused all the time, and it's really frustrating. Because like as someone who has both, it's important to know the difference. Oh, nice. When you do, feel free to share it in some medium, because I'm sure it's going to be great. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream here, just because I'm getting tired, and I also have an assignment that's due technically yesterday, but we're gonna pretend like it's due tonight because that's where I am right now. But I'm gonna take a nap first because I am tired, and so I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much for talking with me. I really this was really, really helpful to me, and so I really, really appreciate y'all coming on. So thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.